Good morning. My name is Camila. I am, if you don't know me yet, I'm the representative for Wellspring in Latin America. I'm based in Brazil. We're going to go ahead with William to speak a little bit about North Park, one of our partners in the US. Great location, great scholarship opportunities. So if you have any questions, you can always type on the question box, and let's go ahead and start. William, you can start.
Hi everyone, my name's William Reynolds and I'm from North Park University in Chicago, Illinois. I'm going to pull up my presentation right now. So like I said, North Park University is located in Chicago, Illinois. It's a great school, great location. Today we're going to go over the programs, the majors, the costs, along with the three pillars of North Park being Christian, city-centered, and intercultural. Although we are a Christian institution, we have no religious requirement of any of our students, and we can touch on that a little bit later. We'll talk about our location in Chicago. Our location's located in one of the most diverse zip codes in Chicago. And lastly, we will talk about academics, student life, athletics, along with our Christian identity. Just the real quick, North Park is a small Christian school. We're located in the city of Chicago. We have about 1,700 students at the undergraduate level and about 1,200 at the postgraduate level. We have about 38 countries represented at North Park, which adds a lot of diversity, not in terms of like physical presence, but international students come in with different backgrounds, cultures, religions, which really enhances the classroom experience, along with domestic students get to experience that as well. Lastly, we have over 50 countries represented. It's a little outdated. Recently, we had a big uptick in students over the past year that has contributed to this growth. So we're hoping that continues into the fall semester as well. Like I said, North Park is an intercultural university, which is one of our three core pillars. Being an intercultural institution, this allows our students to feel safe, get involved around campus, and kind of blend in much quicker. North Park is also a majority minority campus. It's very rare, especially among small private universities. It's actually 6.4% international, or it's actually 10% international. And this is something that, again, we're trying to grow and that we're very proud of. So North Park is a transfer-friendly university, which means we encourage students and we allow students to transfer in credits from community colleges, and we will work with them early in this process to get this started and make sure that those credits that they are taking will transfer to North Park. We have a 12-to-1 student to faculty ratio, and most of our faculty have terminal degrees. So they're really experienced. They have, connections in the area, research. So this adds to our students' ability afterwards to find jobs, not only in the US, but back home. Also with the small class size, classes are very interactive. They're small. Again, students are able to form those relationships, not only with fellow students, but also with professors. As mentioned before, North Park is a Christian university, which is one of our three core pillars. We do not require a Christian background of any of our students. Most international students that we have actually do not come from a Christian background. But we have lots of clubs and organizations which emphasize ethics, interest, and the desire to give back. A lot of these clubs are open to anyone regardless of their faith. The only requirement that we do have is in a student's first semester, they are required to take a biblical studies course. It's more about the history of the Bible, and a lot of students come out or go into that not wanting to take it and come out of it saying it's one of the most interesting classes that they've taken over their 4 years. Lastly, North Park is city-centered. We're only 12 kilometers from downtown and only 5 kilometers from our the lake walk or the lakefront, and we're located only a 10-minute walk from the subway. There's several bike trails around. Being an intercultural city, there's so much to do. Our students blend in right away, which makes them feel safe and part of the community. Being city-centered, we have developed what we call our Catalyst program. All students are required to take this, and it's built into their schedules. So the students actually go out into the city, do some experiential learning. Recently, the Pilsen neighborhood, which is a largely Mexican neighborhood, has a lot of wall murals, and our students went there to see the murals, and they kind of represent and show the Mexican migration into the US. For our business students, they might go to a board of trade or a local nonprofit and kind of work with them and see what they're doing in the community. Quick list of all of our academic programs. We have STEM, humanities, business. We do offer some postgraduate programs as well. These are some of the companies that our students have interned with in the past. A lot of students will have the opportunity to do internships, and a lot of them can be built into their schedule and are actually required. But this is a list, like I said, of where our students have interned. It shows a lot of the businesses in Chicago that they are able to work at. In terms of services, we have several services that we provide to students. They're assigned a faculty advisor right at the very beginning. We have free one-on-one tutoring in a writing center, which is really helpful for first-year students because it prepares them for research papers in the future. If we have individual accommodations for students, as long as we know ahead of time, so we can advocate for those. And we also provide free counseling services as well. Most of our buildings have been recently renovated, including 100,000 square foot science center, which houses our simulation lab, which is part of our nursing program. We do allow international students to enroll in the program, which is very unique for a lot of small schools like us. Most of our buildings have been newly renovated. Like I said, we recently built the new simulation lab, and a lot of our buildings, like I said, have been recently renovated, including the Johnson Center, which houses a lot of activities for students. We do provide on-campus accommodation. It's guaranteed all 4 years if a student would like to do that. It is required, however, if a student is younger than 21. If they're older than 21 or have accumulated over 90 credit hours, they are allowed to live off campus. A lot of our students come to Chicago and come to North Park having connections in the city. So if a student has family or relatives in the city, they are able to stay with them, and they don't have to live on campus. And then on campus, we do provide several dining options as well, which is included in the total cost at North Park. We do offer study abroad, so not only can a student study in the US, but they have the opportunity to study outside as well. So they kind of get 2 different countries at once. This is open to both domestic and international students, and we make sure that most of the credits that the students are taking will transfer back into North Park. Like it's tons of activities on campus. We have lots of clubs and organizations. These really help our international students feel like and become part of a US institution. Since we're in the US, athletics are a big part. Even if a student isn't an athlete or doesn't partake, we encourage them to go to the games and be a part of the community. Mentioned earlier, we have lots of bike trails around campus. We have full outdoor athletic facilities as well as an indoor track, rock wall, and weight facilities open to all of our students. You will work with Wellspring on the application process. And then these are the application or the documents that require. We need English proficiency test. We do accept TOEFL as low as 70 and 6.0 for IELTS in some cases. The application process, like I said, will be handled by Wellspring. And we really try to get the applications turned around in 24 to 48 hours. And then you'll work with Wellspring on the deposits as well. And the same with the I-20. Once we get the deposit, we'll try to turn that around in 24 to 48 hours. Here's a breakdown of our tuition. We do offer scholarships ranging from $12,000 to $19,000 per year. In some rare occasions, depending on the student's situation, we can raise that up to $22,000. In terms of scholarship application, we do not require a separate application. Once the student submits their documents, their transcripts, and their English score, we will review for application at the same time. These prices are going to go up slightly with probably within the next 2 weeks once our board decides the tuition for the next upcoming school year. And then I encourage all of you, as well as the students, to connect with us on social media. It gives a much closer, intimate experience of what's going on campus and really showcases student life and what international students can really become a part of. And again, thank you all for taking the time to let me present and let me talk to you. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you have.
Great. Thank you, William. I will let our peeps in.
I would just I would highlight an information that is quite important, especially for our market from Latin America. So scholarships can go up to 19,000. We had a student that applied that got the 19,000. That's something real. It's a real amount that students can get. And then we are talking about that the tuition cost will be less than $20,000. So that's a pretty good amount for students. Basically, depending on the community college, even a community college price for a 4-year university, right, just close to downtown Chicago. So that's a very good option for students, especially because of scholarships and location. And because we know that it's a real amount, we had students that got this in the past. So any questions about the scholarships or entry requirements, we have everything in our portal. You can always log into the portal and look for North Park University, or just send me a message for any questions you might have in the future.
So at this time, feel free to either unmute yourself and ask the question, or write into the Q&A or chat feature below, located on the toolbar in Zoom, if you have any questions.
So I don't think we have any specific questions, but thank you, Darby, for organizing the webinar, and thanks, William, for presenting and getting this time to talk to our agencies. And if you guys have any questions, you can always reach out to me as well.
Yeah, please be sure to reach out to Camilla with any questions. But yeah, I echo what Camilla said. Thank you, William, for being here. It was great to learn a little bit more about North Park, and thank you to everyone who joined us today. We appreciate you being with us.
Thank you so much, guys. I actually had 2 questions, but they were actually answered during the presentation and Camilla's last sentence that she said about the scholarship. So thank you so much. That was very helpful.
Awesome. I'm glad we answered your questions.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you, William.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Darby. If you need anything else, let me know, okay?
Will do.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye.